Hi there, everybody. It's Adam Bushnell, the author. Fantastic to see you all here today. Over the moon that you're all coming back for this day, which is day 12 of our storytelling. I've got lots of work to show you today, lots of shout outs to give later, some really weird ones, don't quite know what's going on, and a nice story to share with you as well. So happy Tuesday, everybody. How many weeks have we been doing this for? Week like 3, 4, something like that? I don't know, but I'm so grateful for you joining me. Want to get stuck straight in with sharing some incredible work. Now, first of all, this is by a 4.5-year-old called Rudy. Rudy Howe has drawn a dragon here, which I think looks amazing. This dragon has a pot of sugar. He lures people towards him with his sugar, and then, as soon as the people have been lured over, he eats them. I just love it. I think that's amazing. And that's Rudy Howe from Barleymoor Primary School. Next, we have The Snorkel Bog by Liam Taylor. That is amazing. Thank you so much for sending your work, Liam. I love it. It says that its diet is honey, its range is everywhere, and snorkelbargs are shy but curious and can change their appearance to match any surrounding imaginable. If you feel you are being watched, it's probably just a snorkelbog high in the treetops. Love it. Next, over here we have, this is Elijah Knight's dragon, which breathes gas and fire. And it looks like it's doing some serious damage to a city there. Love that. Then we have Adrian DeLucas has drawn over here. He's from St. Godric's in Durham. We have Goldeneye the dragon. And it says here, Goldeneye is the king of the dragons. And he can speak out electricity. Fantastic. I love that, Goldeneye. Aiden from Finkel has drawn a military dragon. Look at that one, with its guns and its helmet and all the rest of it. Amazing. Over here, we've got Adam. Good name, by the way. Awesome name. This is a multicolored dragon, and Adam is age 4. I love that. Fantastic. Then we have Thea Richmond, rather, has drawn here a blue dragon, and it is shooting out from its mouth some sparkles there. And it says he breathes out snowflakes. He is a baby. He's blue. Iceheart lives on the mountain in a cave with his mummy and daddy. He's a nice dragon. He likes to help people. Iceheart makes ice for people for their drinks, to make their drinks cold on hot days. What a wonderful description. I love it. Now, Thea has also created a dragon model in her garden as well. I love that. I think that's fantastic. Next, we have, now this is Jasmine's St. George's display in her window. How about that? Loving all the NHS things, but how amazing is that to celebrate children's work in their window so that everybody can enjoy it while they're taking their hour's exercise? I think that's amazing. Next, we have here, by the way, it was this person's birthday on Monday. Happy birthday, George. And this is your work as well. Now, this is the Golden Crystal Tear Fireworm. That is incredible work there. I hope you had a lovely birthday, George. What a superstar. Jacob, age 7, has created a water dragon. Look at that. Some awesome colouring in. And then Owen, who's from St. Andrews in Bishop Auckland, has been reading one of my books, Journey of the Pearl, and has created a chocolate pearl with Smarties. How cool is that? I love it. Now, George O'Brien has been drawing The Collector. Look at these labels. It has arms where it can carry its loot. It can be killed, but only if holy water is put onto its lantern. It steals souls, and look at that. You know, it's like he lives with an illustrator. That is how awesome this is. This is a future author and illustrator in the making. I love it. Well done. And then we have Jamie has created here Flamethrower Freddy. How cool is that? Flamethrower Freddy. What a drag. And then Gas Breather Gary, complete with a model, has also been drawn by Jamie as well. Amazing. And there's the models to go with it. Fantastic. And then we also have here, Darcy has drawn a demon. That's pretty dark, Darcy. Pretty dark. And then Phoebe has also drawn a demon splattered in blood. I think you're getting into my minds here, people. I love it. So thank you so much for sharing Your pictures, your models, your writing, and everything else. I love receiving them, so please do keep sending them. Shout outs later. In the meantime, why are we here on this live storytelling channel? Well, we're here because we want to have a story. Now, St. Cuthbert's School in Seaham have been working on something called Just So stories. Now, Just So stories, they're also known as creation stories, they're known as origin stories. They're to explain why the world is the way that it is. For example, when you look out the window, why is the sky blue? Why is the sea salty? Why do we have volcanoes? But it's also to do with animals. Specifically, why animals look the way that they do. For example, it could be how the hyena got its laugh, how the rabbit got its long ears, how the lion got its mane. It's that kind of a story that we are thinking about today. Now, I tried to think about an animal. You know, for example, Belle the dog. What makes Belle the dog so fluffy? Or another one of my pets. Yes, it's a return visit for Jet the tortoise. Now, when you are making up your own Just So story, you have to think about a distinguishing feature of an animal. And the most distinguishing feature, I would say, for a tortoise is its shell. Now, I quite often get asked when I go into schools, Adam Bushnell, where's your turtle? Well, he's not really a turtle, he is a tortoise. And the difference between a turtle and a tortoise, I'll just put Jet down for a moment. Watch out, Jet. Good lad. Is that basically turtles live in the water and they have flippers and they look like this. Tortoises live on the land and they have clawed feet like that. But both of them look quite similar. And the most distinguishing feature for a tortoise and a turtle, and perhaps a terrapin as well, is their shell. So the story that I'm going to tell today is how the tortoise got its shell. This story starts off a long time ago, when the world was brand new. God was busy making the world. God was busy making the humans and the animals. And God was deciding what each creature should look like. Now, what God had done was created the whole of the world, and it filled the world with water and with plants. But the animals hadn't yet taken their place. God was heating the world with the sun. And then God reached down and took some squishy clay mud from the ground and then molded it into the shape of all the different animals. And then God baked each animal in the ovens of the sun. God would then take the animals and God would breathe life into the animals. God would then decide what kind of a skin the animals would wear. If it was a hot sunny day like it was last week, then the animals would get a very thin skin, like our skin, or like a greyhound dog skin. If it was a cold winter's day, a little bit like it is this week, then the skin would be much thicker, like a bear or a wolf. Now, on this one particular day, God took some squishy mud, baked it in the ovens of the sun after forming it into the shape of a creature. And when this creature was ready, God breathed life into it. But as soon as this creature had life breathed into it, the creature said, "Don't put a skin on me! Don't put a skin on me, please! I'm just too hot! I'm boiling!" God said, "You don't want a skin?" "No, I don't want a skin. Just put me down on earth as I am." God said, "Okay, it's up to you," and put this strange creature down on the earth. God then leaned over and said, "I shall call you Toto. Go and make friends, Toto." And so Toto went walking off to meet all the other animals. Now, all the other animals were busy sat there chatting and getting to know each other. One animal was saying to another, "Ooh, I like your spots." And another said, "Your stripes look beautiful." And another one said, "Your scales look fantastic." When all of a sudden, they saw Toto. And Toto walked towards them and said, "Hello, everybody." Well, all the animals looked and said, he hasn't got a skin. He's naked. It's disgusting. Don't talk to him. Send him away. We don't want to talk to naked people. Go away. So Toto was sent off to go and live by himself. Toto was so sad. Toto went to a cave where nobody else was living. And he sat miserably, and from his cave he looked out and saw the animals all making friends with each other. Toto felt a tear rolling down his cheek. And each day Toto spent day after day alone in his cave. But he noticed that the animals regularly got together to have a big race. And the winner of that race, well, there was a huge celebration for them. There was eating and there was drinking and there was dancing and there was a huge party, all in the honour of the person who won the race. Usually it was this spotty creature who was very, very fast. But Toto decided that he would like to have a go. So he went over to go and join all the animals. And he said, "Excuse me, I'd like to have a go racing." All the animals said, "It's that naked one again. Don't look at him. Don't talk to him. If he wants to join in, that's up to him." So Toto lined up with the other animals. The wolf gathered everybody together and said, "Right, everybody, on my howl. Ready?" The animals got themselves ready. "Steady." The animals got themselves steady. And when the wolf began to howl, it was time to go. And the animals set off. They ran and ran and ran and ran. They raced right round a mountain. They raced right round a forest. They raced over the river. Then they raced back. The start line and the finish line, they were the same thing. And Toto was the fastest out of everybody. He stood there and he watched the other animals cross the finishing line, and he stood there and he went, "I won, I'm the best, na 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 na." Well, let me give you some advice, boys and girls. If you're good at anything, it's not a good idea to go na 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 na, people. It's not the way to make friends. And so the animals, well, they didn't want to have a party for Toto. He was such a bad winner. So Toto went off to his cave. He sat sadly and he waited. He waited until the animals gathered for their next race. And as soon as they did, Toto excitedly went running over and said, "I want to race again, because you all know that I'm the best. I'm the best at everything I am. Look at me, I'm so fast and sleek and slick." The animals, they looked at each other and they sighed and rolled their eyes. The wolf got them ready. They got them steady. And when the wolf howled, it was time to go, and the animals set off. And of course, Toto won easily. And just the same as the first time, he was an incredibly bad winner. Losers, losers, na 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 na, and all of that sort of business. The animals didn't want to be friends with somebody so mean. And so the animals, they came up with an idea. By the time the third big race came about, and Toto excitedly gathered with all the others, the animals had put up a great big sign. Only this sign didn't have books on it. This sign had the words, "Only animals with a shell may enter this race. Only animals with a skin can join in. Only animals who have spots or stripes or scales. Only animals that have fur or feathers. Only animals that are not naked are allowed to join in." Well, Toto looked at the sign and said, "That's not fair." Toto was in a big fat mood. He went off to go and see God. He looked up to the skies and he prayed and he said, "Oh God, if you're there, please can I have a skin?" Well, God looked down from heaven and God said, "You want a skin now then, do you?" And Toto said, "Yes, please. I'd like a skin, but my skin, I would like to be able to take it on and off whenever I want to. I don't want to wear my skin all the time just so I can get into that race." God shrugged and said, "All right, I'll make you a skin that you can take on and take off." So Toto was given a new skin. And when he arrived, all the animals looked at him and said, "Why are you wearing a coconut?" He said, "I'm not wearing a coconut. Look, top of that list, it says animals can have a shell. Snails have shells, and crabs have a sort of shell, and I've got a shell too. Do you like my shell? It's my new skin." The animals said, "Well, it's better than walking around in the nicky-nacky new. It's better than being naked. Yes, that's fine. All right, you can join in." So the animals lined up. The wolf was about to howl to get them ready. The animals got themselves steady. And just before the wolf began to howl, Toto took off his shell. And as soon as the wolf howled, he was off. And he sprinted and sprinted and sprinted. And he, of course, won the race again. And when the other animals gathered together, he looked at them and said, "Losers, losers, na 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 na," as he slipped his skin back on. And the animals all said, "You cheated! You cheated! It says that you need to have a skin, but you took your skin off. And Tortoise said, of course, it says there that you can have a skin like a shell. I've got one of those. It just so happens that I can take mine on and off. So nah. Well, the animals all grumbled and the animals all mumbled, and Toto happily trotted off to his cave. And Toto just sat around. He didn't take his skin on and off while he was in his cave, while he was in his home, because he didn't need to. He wasn't racing. But by the time the next race came about, Toto probably should have taken off his skin a few times in between. He probably should have had a little wash where he could take his skin off, because by now he was a bit stinky. The animals all said, "Whoa, Toto, have you not been washing? You smell terrible. You smell like old socks." And Toto said, "I'll celebrate by having a bath after I beat you losers." So the animals rolled their eyes and they all lined up. The wolf got them all ready. The wolf got them all steady. And just as the wolf was about to blow his whistle and howl for the start, Toto tried to take his skin off, but it was stuck. He couldn't move it from his body. He pulled and pulled, and the wolf howled, the animals set off, and Toto, he just had to race with his shell on. And when he set off, he discovered that he was no longer fast. With that great big heavy shell, he was slow. Toto plodded along slowly, chasing after the other animals. And by the time the other animals had finished the race, they all had to sit around and wait for Toto. When he did finally cross the finishing line, all the animals shouted out, "Who's the slowest of all the animals?" And everybody shouted, "Toto is." "Who's the slowest of all the animals?" "Toto is." "Who is the slowest of all the animals?" "Toto is." And Toto became known as Tortoise. And that is how the tortoise got his shell. Jet, did you like that story?
No, I did not.
Why?
It was a sad ending.
Well, actually, I don't know if it was a sad ending. These stories are not meant to be true. They are myths. They are made-up stories. They are to explain why the world is the way that it is. It's how people long ago first decided to try and make sense of the world. They would look across the landscape and they'd say, "You see that stripy looking horse over there? How do you reckon that creature got its stripes?" And stories would be made up and shared by the fire. They were just meant to be entertainment. They weren't meant to be taken seriously. So Jet, don't feel sad about that. Give everybody a little wave.
Hello, everybody.
Right, let's pop Jet the tortoise away. Give him a wave. Bye, bye, bye. So, what activities could we do? Well, you could choose your favourite animal, whatever that animal could be. And then you could choose the most distinguishing feature about that animal. For example, if it was a cheetah, it might be that it can run fast. If it's a dog, it might be it's got a wet nose. If it's a hamster, it might be the fact that its cheeks are so big. If it's a dolphin, it might be because it's so intelligent. If it's a shark, it might be its teeth. What you then do is try and come up with an idea for how the shark got its teeth, how the dolphin got so clever. You get the idea. I'll give you an example. It could be how the giraffe got its long neck, which features in this book here, Snake's Legs and Cow's Eggs. And basically what happens is the giraffe doesn't look the way that it does today. A long time ago, the animals all look different. So the beginning of your story is your animal looking different. The end of your story is the animal looking the way it does today. What you've got to work out is how that animal ends up looking the way that it does. For example, if a giraffe with a short neck ends up with a long neck, maybe it's because he gets his head stuck. Maybe it's because he's trying to reach food in the tall trees and he stumbles and falls and his head is stuck. The other animals pull and pull and pull, but they can't get his head out. More animals come and join and they pull and pull and pull and they still can't get him out. And that's what these origin or just so stories do, is they follow that rule of three. 3 things happen and then the animal ends up looking the way that they do today. And usually it's a happy ending. Usually it's something like, say if it was how the cat got its claws, the beginning of the story, the cat has no claws and it can't catch its food. The end of the story, it has claws and it's very, very happy about that. So that's the structure of a creation or an origin story. And I would love it if you would send those creation and origin stories to me. It would be fantastic for me to read some of them, or even some of the pictures. You could even draw me a picture of what Jet would look like without his shell. That would be crazy. I'd absolutely love it. Okay, so that might give you some ideas for some activities ready for our next storytelling live session here on YouTube at 2:30 on Thursday. In the meantime, another chapter of Epica will be uploaded tomorrow, and another chapter after that will be on Friday. Probably now time for some shout outs. So I've had some really weird shout outs this week, people. First of all, this isn't a weird one, this was a nice one. Shout out to our Lady Star of the Sea. Fantastic. Thank you for joining me. Stay awesome, you guys. Next, to St. Aidan's in Hartlepool. I love coming to visit your school, and I hope that you're all doing well. A big hello to Mrs. Lighthowler and all the staff at St. Aidan's. Now, a big shout out to, I just got one on the live chat before we started. I've not been able to read the others yet, but a shout out to Jacob Wheatley and everybody at Acrerig Infant Schools. Acrerig Infant School, I hope to see you all again very, very soon. 3 really weird shout outs. Are you ready? A shout out to Joe and Stinky the dog, who have been cuddling up in bed to watch this YouTube channel. Hello to you. Next is to Ben the dog, who has been watching with his turkey. Not sure what that means, but hi to Ben the dog. And finally, this is the craziest one of all. Shout out to Granny Miki the chicken, who is blind but loves being told a really good story. And Granny Miki is tuning in all the way from the Netherlands. Fantastic. I'm over the moon that you're tuning in. Apparently, Granny Miki's had all of my stories read to her. And a shout out goes to all the children at the British School of the Netherlands. Thank you for joining me. Keep on tuning in. Finally, just a few messages. You can get in touch with me via Twitter, via Facebook, via Instagram, or via my website. Send me an email and I'll give you a shout out and I will show your work, your models, your writing, etc., etc. Remember to tell your friends and your family. Remember to subscribe and like to the channel so we can build this thing, get it out to as many people as possible. Don't forget to hop over to Liz Million's channel as well. Awesome illustrator. There's some incredible videos on there already and new ones being uploaded all of the time. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for Quests in Epica, and I shall upload that tomorrow morning so that it's ready for whenever you guys want to watch it. In the meantime, stay safe, stay indoors, and stay positive. Keep tuning in, and bye for now, everyone. Bye for now. And bye from Jet the Tortoise too.